Gee whiz.
Hello, friends. I'm John Henderson. Welcome to this series of old-time radio show episodes called Gee Whiz. These are the stories of the schemes, trials, and loves of the typical American teenagers, Andy Hardy, Archie Andrews, and Henry Aldrich. These episodes are all from around the World War II era. During that time, there was rationing going on from the government, so you could only buy gas if you had a gas ration coupon. You got this coupon from the government, it said you could get this amount of gas, and you couldn't buy any more without the coupon. They were also rationing things like meat. This episode is from April 2nd, 1942.
The Aldrich Family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith, and starring Ezra Stone as Henry, with Jackie Kelk as Homer.
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother.
The month of April may bring its showers, but a little rain has never yet dampened the spirits of a teenage boy. And that's the reason it's fun to know a youngster like Henry Aldrich. For you can't stay down when a real American boy is bouncing around. Now the scene opens at the Aldrich breakfast table.
Oh, boy, Mother, oh, boy, wouldn't you say I'm lucky, Mother?
Yes, dear, but will you please eat your cereal?
Sure, but gee, out of all the girls in this town, I'm the one she's chosen.
Henry, may I have the cream, please?
The cream? Father, wouldn't you say I'm sitting pretty?
What's that?
Look at what I just got from Loretta. It's an invitation for dinner at her house tonight.
That's fine. Pass the cream.
Henry, you haven't even started your cereal.
Mother, I don't want to get this letter mussed up. Gee whiz, take a look at the stationery she used.
Yes, dear.
Father, would you like to take a look at it?
I would like to have you pass me the cream.
She was having you... Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What's the matter?
I hadn't smelled it before.
Sam, where are you going?
I'm going to take a walk down here and get the cream.
Father, why don't you let me pass it to you?
You just sit there and keep on smelling that letter.
Now, Sam, don't tell him to smell when I've asked him to eat.
Hey, Henry, where are you?
Homer, where did you come from?
My house. Where do you think? Gee whiz, Henry, how'd you get that smudge on your face?
What smudge?
April Fool.
Listen, is this April Fool's Day? How did I let a thing like that happen?
Why, so it is.
Hi, Mr. Aldrich. Did you know you had a flat tire out in front?
That's fine.
Don't you believe me?
Homer, come here a second. Do you want to smell something?
No.
Go ahead, smell it.
Henry, you can't fool me with a thing like that. I know it's got pepper on it.
On this? Well, look, it's a letter from Loretta Darlington.
Yeah, April Fool.
You're crazy.
Henry, I'm sorry, but you will have to use one hand to eat with, regardless of how wonderful that letter is.
Yes, Mother. Homer, you know what surprised me more than anything?
What?
Well, for 3 weeks now, I've been trying to get up enough courage to ask her to go to the dance Saturday night. And yesterday I did. And what do you think she said?
What?
Henry, will you please pass the toast?
Yes. And then, Homer, right out of a clear sky, I get this.
Henry.
Henry, your father wants something. I'm going to answer the phone.
For me? What is it, Father?
Will you please pass Loretta? Never mind, just skip it.
Oh, here, Homer, pass my father the sugar.
I don't want the
Do
sugar.
you want the cream, Mr. Aldrich?
I've had the cream.
Could it be the butter, Father?
It could not. I've forgotten what it is.
Henry, could I have that piece of toast there?
Sure.
Homer, give that to me.
Oh, sure, Mr. Aldrich. Here.
Homer, you and Henry are both wanted on the telephone.
Yes, somebody wants us.
Both of us? Who was it?
All I know is it's the main office at the school, and Miss Shea wants to speak with one of you.
Miss Shea? Oh, boy, Homer.
Oh, boy.
Henry, hurry right back.
What could it be, do you suppose?
Well, frankly, it could be one of two things. Here, Henry, you take the receiver.
Homer, I can't. I've got my mouth full.
You have not. You haven't got a thing in it.
I have to.
Hello?
Hello, is this Henry Aldrich?
Well, no, not exactly. This is Homer Brown.
Oh, well, you'll do just as well.
I will.
Mr. Bradley has asked me to tell you that it won't be necessary for you and Henry Aldrich to report to any classes today.
Oh, you mean we're expelled?
What's that, Homer?
He wants you to help decorate the auditorium for the spring play.
Oh, boy, he does?
He does what, Homer?
He also wanted me to ask you whether you have all your homework finished.
Why, yes, I've got it right here in my pocket.
You have?
In fact, I've got it right here in my hand now.
You have? Well, you might just as well tear it up.
Tear it up? Okay.
What's that, Homer?
Look, Henry. Look at what Miss Shea says we can do.
Oh, my goodness, you didn't tear it, did you?
Now, listen, Agnes, is that you?
Oh, my goodness.
Agnes, do you realize what you've done to us?
Homer, was that Agnes?
Yes, and look at my homework. Oh, boy, that's a swell April Fool joke.
Homer, look at what I've done.
What's the matter?
When you began tearing, I began tearing, too. Look at Loretta's invitation to dinner tonight.
Gee whiz, you can still go, can't you?
Sure, naturally, but... Homer, we've got to get even with her.
That's what I say. I'm going to call her up and tell her I'm Mr. Bradley.
Homer, that won't be any good. I've got a better idea. I can see the whole thing just as clear as day.
Well, what is it? What is it?
You know all those contests Agnes is always entering?
Yeah.
She was when we get to school, we'll tell one of the fellas to tell her she won $100.
Sure, Henry, sure. Only let's make it 500.
Sure, and really spread it around.
Sure.
We'll tell everybody. Boy, we'll tell everybody in this school.
Have you heard about Agnes' loss?
Really? You mean to say she won all that money?
Sure. Let's go ask her about it.
Hi, you heard about Agnes?
Yeah, and can you beat it? I sit next to her in English.
Hey, what's this I hear about Agnes? Did she really win a contest?
Sure she did. Look at her over in that crowd. Let's go tell her.
Agnes Lawson won all that money. You're crazy.
I am not. I know somebody that says she knows somebody that heard it on the radio last night.
Did you hear it?
No, but it's all over the school, though. Hi, Homer. There she is over there.
Agnes. Oh, Agnes.
What do you want?
Oh, we want to tell you something.
Agnes, did you know you won $1,000 in a contest?
You're crazy.
You did, too. Ask anybody in school, Agnes.
You're crazy. I won $2,500.
You did?
You did?
Sure I did.
Imagine. Homer, what do you know about that?
I can hardly believe it.
Well, I did, Homer Brown, and don't try to make out it couldn't be possible.
I know, Agnes, but $2,500? That much never occurred to me.
Well, I did. And if you don't believe me, you can ask anybody here on the campus.
Oh, Agnes, we're not trying to make you out a liar, only what contest was it?
How should I know? I enter one every time I pick up a new magazine.
Hello, Agnes. I came over to tell you how proud I am to know you.
Thanks.
Yes, Agnes, you're really smart.
You know what I think I'll do, fellas? I think I'll take the whole gang over to the soda fountain and treat them after school.
You will?
You really will?
Sure. Homer, could you let me borrow $1 until I get my prize?
What's that? I'll tell you, Agnes, I've got to go or I'll be late to class.
Yes, same here. Goodbye, Agnes.
Agnes, are you sure the whole thing isn't an April Fool joke?
Listen, don't you think I know one of those when I see one? Didn't I tell you what I did to Henry?
No.
I wrote him a note and asked him to come to Loretta Darlington's for dinner tonight.
Really?
Sure, I even signed Loretta's name to it. Boy, do I love April Fool jokes.
Do you have some more potatoes, Sam?
No, thank you, Alice.
Henry, can't I give you anything?
No, thank you. I'll just sit here and watch you eat.
I'm sorry, dear, that we're having such a good dinner on the evening you're invited over to Loretta's.
Oh, that's all right, Mother. We'll probably have a swell dinner over there, too. Boy, did Homer and I play the darndest April Fool joke today.
Alice, may I have the biscuits, please?
Here you are.
It's the best April Fool joke I ever thought of.
Henry, are you quite sure you shouldn't be starting for Loretta's?
Mother, I've got loads of time. Look, here's part of her invitation right here. She says, we won't be eating tonight until 8:30. Be sure to come good and hungry.
Well, Henry, will you please answer that?
Stay where you are, Henry. I'll answer it. I'm expecting a call.
Mother, what are you and Father having for dessert?
Hello, this is Sam Aldrich speaking.
Mr. Aldrich, this is Mr. Lawson.
Who?
Agnes Lawson's father.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Say, Sam, I don't know whether you heard about it or not, but the Lawson family seems to have struck oil.
What's that?
You mean you haven't heard about it?
No, not a word.
Well, don't you listen to the radio?
No, not if I can help it.
Well, Sam, I don't know why we weren't listening last night ourselves, but we understand Agnes won the grand prize.
You don't say so.
Now, Sam, I want to ask your advice about something. Agnes says she's been reading the rules, and she's under the impression that the winner must appear in New York for the check.
Yes, that sounds reasonable.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Only Agnes can't possibly make a trip to New York by herself, and Mrs. Lawson and I can't get away. And what I was wondering was, could you go up and represent us with a power of attorney?
Why, when would I have to leave?
Tomorrow. We've sent a telegram for instructions, and I imagine they'll say they want us to come right on to New York.
Tomorrow, the only thing is...
We'd be glad to pay your expenses, Sam, and make it right with you in the bargain.
Why, you pay my expenses, and that's all I ask for. Any young lady that's smart enough to go out and win a contest deserves everything she can get out of it.
Mean you go?
I think I can arrange things. As a matter of fact, I'd like a trip to New York.
That's fine. Now I won't have to worry.
No, don't you worry about a thing.
Just one more thing before you hang up. If you don't mind keeping this confidential, because we heard it was $2,500, and Agnes feels it's $35, and then we've heard from another source that it might be even more.
Oh, you don't say so.
And naturally, until we know just how we really do stand, we don't want to go around talking too much.
I see your point.
Goodbye.
Dear, your dinner's getting cold.
Come here, Alice. I've got something to tell you believe.
Sam, what's the matter?
Mr. Lawson just phoned me.
Yes?
And it looks as though I'll have to leave for New York tomorrow.
On this short notice, Sam?
I can arrange it, I think.
Mother, don't you want me to tell you what I was going to?
No, Henry, not now.
But, Mother, it was the best April Fool joke you ever heard of.
Henry, will you please go back into the dining room while I finish telling your mother something?
But, Father, I'm not eating any dinner.
All right, go in there and look at mine. At any rate, get out of here.
Yes, Father, I'll go. Only I thought you'd like to know about that joke Homer and I played.
As though an April Fool joke were important at a time like this. Alice, you won't believe it, but here's what happened.
Well, sir, I may have seen bigger steaks and juicier steaks, but I don't remember where.
And we can all thank Agnes for having it.
Thank you, Mother. Did you really use up all our ration coupons to get this dinner?
Yes, dear. Ed, you aren't cutting those slices a little bit thick, are you?
Gertrude, are you forgetting what has happened to the Lawson family? Why don't we have any bigger plates than these?
Oh, Ed, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going downtown tomorrow and buy a whole new dinner set.
Now, Gertrude, we don't need to spend any money on dishes. Besides, I've got that money all planned out for Agnes.
You have, Father?
First thing I'm going to do is see whether I can get a priority to get a new car.
For me?
Agnes, you aren't old enough to drive a car. You know you aren't. Here, pass the steak to your mother.
Ed, I don't care for any. I can't eat a thing.
Well, what's the matter with you?
Not a thing. Only if I can't get a new dinner set out of this, why...
All right, go ahead and get a dinner set.
And, Father, you know what I want to get? First of all, a new evening dress.
A new what?
Without any shoulders. Boy.
Agnes, do you realize that I haven't finished telling your father what I'm going to do?
Well, folks, I've got that all attended to.
Ralph, you're interrupting your mother.
Oh, excuse me, but I just wanted to tell you I resigned my job.
You resigned, Ralph?
Sure, I gave up my job Saturday night at the Havens drugstore.
On my money?
Well, you're my sister, aren't you? I'm going to have somebody to go to the dance Saturday night.
How are you going to pay for the tickets?
Listen, Agnes, don't be so selfish.
Henry!
Yes, Father?
I thought you were coming down here so I could have a talk with you.
Just one more minute, Father.
What's the matter with the boy?
Sam, he's upstairs changing his tie.
Again? That's the third time he's changed it this evening.
Dear, he's going over to Loretta Darlington's in just a few minutes.
Yes, Father, is there something you wanted?
There is.
Henry, your father's just been talking with me, and he has a grand idea.
He has?
Yes, dear, and I'm going to let him tell you about it.
Yes, Father.
Henry, it's been a long time since you and I have done anything together, hasn't it?
Well, we had a milkshake together last week.
Yes, but... Henry, how would you like to make a trip to New York with me?
To New York, Father?
Yes, sir. You and I get on the train tomorrow, and we'll go on a real binge for the weekend.
To New York?
To New York.
But how about my school tomorrow afternoon?
I can get you out of it, I think.
Oh, boy, and you're asking me whether I want to go?
I thought you'd like it.
Only, how about Loretta? I asked her to go to the dance Saturday night.
Well, I don't think she'd want to stand in the way of your going to New York, would she?
No, gee whiz. After all, she's having me for dinner tonight, so that won't make it as though I weren't going to see her at all.
Henry?
Yes, Mother?
Homer's on the phone.
He is? Father, will you excuse me while I speak to him, please? And thank you very much for telling me. Hello?
Hey, Henry, wait till you hear what happened to me.
To you, Homer. When will you hear about me?
But, Henry, I got a job at the Havens drugstore for Saturday night.
You did?
Sure, the guy that was working there just quit on a moment's notice.
But, Homer, when will you hear what happened to me?
What?
Wait till I tell you. My father and I are going to New York.
You are?
Yeah, we're going on a blowout. Do you know how high the Empire State Building is?
Sure, 75 stories.
You're crazy, Homer. 75 stories. It's around 250. And I'm going all the way to the top.
Sure, Henry. I know a couple of guys that have been to the top.
But, Homer, did you ever eat in an automatic restaurant? All you do is put in a nickel and, boy, things come right out at you.
Henry, your father wants to speak to you.
He does, Mother. Homer, goodbye, and I'll send you a postcard.
Okay, and I'll be back here drinking all the sodas I can hold.
So long.
Henry!
Yes, Father?
Henry, I've got to make the Pullman reservations right away. Are you quite sure it'll be all right for you to break your date with this Loretta, what's-her-name?
Sure, Father. She won't mind staying home. She's a very good sport.
You're quite sure?
Sure. Hello?
Number, please.
L991.
L991.
Yes, please. Gee, Father, did Homer turn green when I told him about New York City?
Yes?
Boy, poor kid back here in Centerville where there's...
Hello?
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 Hello, didn't you recognize my voice? This is Henry.
Oh, Henry Aldrich?
Yes. I'm sorry to bother you right this minute, Loretta, but my father just asked me to go up in the Empire State Building with him.
What's that?
We're going to New York.
Well, you are, Henry.
Yes, tomorrow. And I was just wondering whether it would be all right if I couldn't take you to the dance Saturday night.
Well, Henry, as a matter of fact, it works out fine because somebody just phoned me a few minutes ago and asked me to go with him.
Oh, somebody did?
Yes. A friend of mine who's just come into a lot of money.
Oh.
I hope you have a nice time in New York, Henry.
Well, thanks, Loretta. And I'll be over in just a couple of minutes.
What's that?
Boy, and am I starved. Goodbye.
Agnes Lawson has sent an April Fool letter to Henry, inviting him to dinner tonight at Loretta Darlington's. Henry and Homer, in order to keep April Fool's Day from being a total loss, have led Agnes to believe that she's the winner of a radio contest. The scene opens in Loretta Darlington's home. The time is around 9:15.
Well, Mrs. Darlington...
Yes, Henry?
Nothing.
I'm sorry Loretta isn't here right this minute, Henry. She said she was going to step out, and she told me where she was going. But I didn't pay any attention.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Darlington. That's all right. I'd just as soon sit here. If you have any work to do in the kitchen, you go right ahead with it.
You're not keeping me from one thing, Henry.
I'm not?
Won't you have another piece of candy?
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
In just a moment while I take this next layer of paper out. I didn't realize we'd eaten practically half a box.
It's very good candy.
Is it your favorite kind?
Oh, I like any kind. And you don't have to worry. It never spoils my appetite.
Good. Tell me, did you have any April Fool jokes played on you today?
No, I got by this year with what you might call a clean slate.
My goodness. Did I tell you what Agnes did to Loretta?
No, ma'am. Mrs. Darlington, when Loretta went out, did she say about how long she'd be gone?
No, I don't think she did.
Well, where's Mr. Darlington? I haven't seen him since I got here.
He went to a lodge meeting.
Oh, he did? Is he having dinner there?
Oh, my, no, he grabbed a bite before he left.
Oh. Too bad he couldn't wait.
Well, as I started to tell you, Henry, Agnes Lawson has played more jokes today. Do you know what she did this morning?
What?
She didn't say one word to Loretta about it, but she wrote a note to Loretta's father and asked him whether she could have $1 and signed Loretta's name. And Mr. Darlington never knew the difference and gave Loretta $1.
He did?
Yes. And Agnes not only made her handwriting look exactly like Loretta's, but where she ever got Loretta's scented stationery, I never will know.
Oh. Oh! Agnes did that?
Yes. Wasn't that a good one?
Oh. Mrs. Darlington, would you tell me something frankly?
Yes.
About how many meals have you had here so far today?
Why, 3. Why do you ask?
Oh. Oh! Well, so Agnes did a thing like that to Loretta.
Mother!
Loretta, come in here.
Mother, who's that is out there in the hall? Oh, hello, Henry.
Hello.
My goodness, I've been over to the Lawsons, and more things have happened to them.
What, for instance?
They're so rich, Mother, they're practically rolling in money. Mrs. Lawson put in a long-distance call all the way to San Francisco just to tell old Mrs. Lawson about it.
About what?
The $3,500 they won. Haven't you heard, Henry?
Loretta, Agnes didn't win any money.
Why, Henry, she did, too.
Gee whiz, she couldn't have. The whole thing was an April Fool joke.
Why, Henry, it couldn't have been.
But I'm telling you, Homer and I, we made the whole thing up.
If you ask me, Henry Aldrich, I don't like your attitude.
All right, I'll show you.
As a matter of fact, Henry, if you're going to contradict me like that, I'm glad I'm not going to the dance with you.
And as a matter of fact, I'm glad I'm going to San Francisco. I mean, New York. Goodbye.
Henry Aldrich, I think you're insane.
Just what do you mean by a statement like that?
Well, Mr. Lawson told me himself that your own father is going to New York to collect the money for Agnes.
My father?
Yes, your father.
That's why he's going?
Yes.
And I... Now listen, Loretta. Gee whiz. Agnes, you didn't. You couldn't possibly have.
Henry, I suppose you think I don't know an April Fool's joke when I see one.
But I'm not kidding you. You didn't win it.
Wait a second, Henry. Let me explain it to her. Agnes, Henry, and I just made the whole thing up.
By Homer Brown. And I suppose you made up the fact that I entered that contest.
You may have entered it, but you didn't win it.
Now, Henry, for the last time, I'm not going to be April Fool's. You're just trying to get back at me for writing that letter to you from Loretta.
What letter, Henry?
Never mind, Homer. Let's just take one thing at a time. Now listen, Agnes.
I'm not going to listen to one thing you say. Of all the jealous people.
But Agnes!
Wait.
What's all this noise in here?
Oh, gee whiz, hello, Mr. Lawson.
That's the trouble.
Mr. Lawson, there's something we feel we ought to tell you.
Well?
Agnes thinks she won a lot of money, see?
Yes?
And she won't believe she didn't.
Oh, why shouldn't she believe it?
But Mr. Lawson, I guess you didn't understand. This is April Fool's Day, see?
I know, but I don't think you boys ought to try to pull a joke like this one.
What's that?
Pretty serious thing, boys, when you deliberately tell somebody they didn't win a prize like $3,500 when it's common knowledge that they did.
But she couldn't have, and gee, my father...
I won't tell your father about this, Henry, but you better be running along. Agnes has had a pretty big day, and for that matter, this whole family has. We're in no mood for jokes.
You mean you don't believe us either?
You boys just forget it's April Fool's Day and go home and get your schoolwork done.
But Mr. Lawson...
Now, run along. Good night.
Gee whiz, that's a fine thing.
Henry, did we make this whole thing up? Or did Agnes really win that prize?
Listen, Homer, we've got to do something about this.
Hello? Mr. Lawson speaking.
Hello, this is the telegraph office.
Yes?
I got a telegram here for you.
Oh, yes. Is it from New York?
Well, it has New York written at the top. There's something about it I want to explain to you, but I think I'd better read it to you first.
All right.
It says, this is to inform you that Agnes Lawson did not win $3,500 because she couldn't have. You are the victim of an April Fool joke.
They say anything else?
No, that's all.
Oh.
But I think I ought to tell you, Mr. Lawson, that telegram didn't really come over the wires. Henry Aldrich and Homer Brown dropped in here a few minutes ago and told me to phone it to you.
Oh, you don't say so. Henry Aldrich and Homer Brown, eh?
Henry, do you realize what a serious thing this is that you and Homer have done? Sending a telegram that wasn't even real.
But, Father,
Don't you boys like Agnes? I always supposed she was a pretty nice girl.
She is, Mr. Aldrich, but she hasn't any sense of humor.
That's the point. You think a thing like this is funny.
No, Father, not anymore, we don't.
Do you think any family in their right mind would go ahead and make all the plans they have if they hadn't won the money? I've a good mind not to take you to New York.
But, Father, that's the point. Don't you understand?
Henry, for the last time, let's not fool about this anymore. I've changed our plans and we're going tonight. My bag is right here and it's all packed.
But, Father...
If you want to go with me, you have 10 minutes in which to pack your things.
You mean you're going now?
I ought to be on the way to the station right this minute.
But, Father, you can't take that train. Even if you cut off my allowance for the next 6 months, you've got to listen to me. Will you have another hamburger, Homer?
Thanks. I don't mind if I do.
Boy, am I hungry. Could I have the catsup, please?
Here.
These hamburgers are the best I ever ate in my life, Henry.
I'm glad you like them, Agnes. Would you like to have me put another nickel in the jukebox?
Yes, that'd be swell.
Agnes, is your brother Ralph going back to work in the Havens drugstore this Saturday night, or is he going to wait a week?
No, he's going right back. Boy, is he mad at me.
Why is he mad at you?
I don't know. Nobody in my family's speaking to me.
That's the way it is in my family.
Well, as a matter of fact.
And you know, maybe it's just as well I didn't get it.
Didn't get what?
My evening dress without shoulders. I guess I'm just not the type.
Boy, has this been a day.
I'll say it has.
Same here.
Henry, you spilled some ketchup on your tie.
Oh, gee, what's weird?
April Fool!
Now listen, Agnes.
It's 12 o'clock, Henry, and you can't get back at me.
Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with your favorite youngster, his family, and his pals. The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone, is written by Clifford Goldsmith.
That was the Aldrich Family from 1942. And now, the Archies.
Come sit beside me and tell me you are mine. Tell me you love me. I want to hear it all the time. Oh, say it over and over, over and over, over and over, and over again. Yeah.
In this episode, they mentioned bicarbonate of soda, which is basically baking soda that you would mix with water and drink as an antacid to settle your stomach. They mentioned the old radio show, The Shadow.
As the Shadow, grants his gift with hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so that they cannot see him.
And in those days, there were a lot of racially insensitive caricatures of Native Americans. There was sort of this cartoonish romanticism of the Old West, cowboys fighting Indians. Hearing it today, it sounds terrible, and it kind of lets you know how far we've come. So here is The Adventures of Archie Andrews from May 15th, 1948.
Judge, and it's a matter of life or death.
Oh, relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, here he is again. The youngster millions of readers of Archie Comics magazine know and love so well. Brought to you by Swift & Company, makers of Swift Premium Franks. Archie Andrews and all his gang. Tender feet, you are north and west coast to New York. Swift Premium Franks. Swift Premium Franks. For your guarantee of perfection, Swift's Premium Franks now come to you cellophane wrapped in handy 1-pound packages. Made fresh daily in Swift kitchens from coast to coast, Swift's Premium Franks are then wrapped in the new handy sanitary Flavor Saver pack and brought to you at the very peak of their tantalizing flavor with all their natural goodness sealed in. So kids, tell your mom that you want Swift's Premium Franks. And Mom, get some today. They're delicious. And you'll be glad to know that Swift's Premium Franks are economical. There's no waste to them. Every bite is all nourishment, all meat. Ask for them today. Swift's Premium Franks in the sanitary 1-pound package. And now for our weekly visit to Riverdale. It's Friday night as you're looking on the Andrews home. Late Friday night. Mr. and Mrs. Andrews are in their bedroom, sound asleep, when...
Ah! What was that? Fred. Fred, did you hear someone scream? It was in Archie's room. Fred? Oh, fine. I'll have to go in there and see what's wrong. Archie, what's the matter? Are you all right? Archie, what's the trouble? Archie? For pity's sake. He's sleeping. Well, I might as well.
Get away from me or I'll let you have it.
Archie,
Don't make another move.
Archie,
I'm warning you.
Archie,
I'll say you act.
Archie, for pity's sake, wake up.
Who is it?
What's the matter? That's what I want to know. A minute ago, you screamed like someone was killing you, and now you're shooting people with machine guns.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Gee, I guess I was dreaming, Ma. Oh, yeah, I remember now. I was fighting Indians.
What?
Indians, you know.
Archie, not so loud. You wake your father.
Oh, okay, Ma. But, boy, what a dream, Ma. I was leading a bunch of covered wagons across the prairies, and we got ambushed by 10 million Indians.
How many?
Well, I didn't stop to count them, but 1 million at least. We formed a circle and took cover behind the wagons. And then the Indians attacked. Bang, 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 bang. All around us, we kept killing Indians. Bang, 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 bang.
Archie, I get the idea. You were killing Indians.
And how? And then my machine gun jammed.
Machine gun in those days?
Whose dream is this?
Oh, all right. Go ahead, but not so loud, dear.
Oh, okay, Mom, okay. And when my machine gun jammed, I knew there was only one thing to do.
What?
I knew our only hope was to get the leader of the Indians.
The leader?
Yeah, Chief Rain in the face. So I put my trusty Bowie knife between my teeth.
Yes.
But it didn't taste so good, so I put it in my hand.
Yes.
And slowly I crawled out of the circle of wagons.
Yes.
To where Chief Rain in the face was standing, directing his warriors.
Yes.
And slowly I raised my knife.
Yes.
And just as I was about to attack, he saw me. What did he do? He grabbed his tomahawk and... Gee whiz, Dad!
Well, for pity's sake, Fred, what are you doing here?
Well, I heard all the noise, and I came in here to find out what the dickens was going on. I didn't know I'd walk right into the French and Indian War.
Dad, no French. Just Indian.
Archie, never mind. Fred, Archie had a bad dream, and he was telling me about it.
Now, Mom, why do you say a bad dream? I thought it was a swell dream.
Well, bad dream or swell dream, is this any time to be telling it?
Well, Fred, I thought if the boy got it off his chest, he'd sleep better.
Oh, well, all right, but for Pete's sake, now that he has told us, let's go back to sleep.
Yes, dear. Are you all right now, son?
Sure, Mom.
All right. Come on, Fred. We'll go back to bed.
All right. But, Archie, one thing.
Yes, Dad?
What did the chief do after he saw you?
Oh, that. You mean just as I was slowly creeping up on him with my trusty Bowie knife?
Yes.
And he turned and grabbed his tomahawk?
Uh-huh.
That's when I woke up.
Oh, fine. Come on, Mary. Let's go back to sleep.
Yes, dear.
I've never heard of anything like this. Indians and dreams in the middle of the night.
Well, Fred, most people dream in the middle of the night, you know.
Yes, I know, dear. But why couldn't he finish the story?
Oh, Fred, don't be silly. Now, get into bed. I'll turn the light off.
I am.
Good night, dear.
Good night. Mary.
Yes, dear?
Are you hiccuping?
Am I what?
Hiccuping.
Fred, don't be silly.
I thought I heard you hiccup.
But I'm not hiccuping. Now go to sleep.
All right, dear. All right. Mary. I thought you said you were not hiccuping.
Fred, I'm not.
But I heard it.
Fred, you're imagining things. Now go to sleep.
All right, dear. All right.
Fred? Are you sure you're not hiccuping?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Mary, don't be silly.
But I just heard it. There it is again. Oh, for pity's sake, it's Archie.
Archie?
Yes. Archie!
Yes, Mom?
Is that you hiccuping?
Oh, it sure is, Mom.
For pity's sake. Fred, I'll have to go see what's wrong.
Oh, me. Dreams and Indians and now hiccups.
Archie, what's the matter, dear?
Gee, I don't know, Mama. I just keep hiccuping.
Well, that dream probably got you too excited.
Gee whiz, what's my dream got to do with hiccups?
Well, I don't know, but when people get excited, they sometimes start hiccuping.
Oh, gee, that's silly.
Well, we'll have to stop them or we'll never get to sleep. Fred, bring me a glass of water, please.
What?
I said bring me a glass of water.
What for?
Fred, I'm trying to do something for Archie's hiccup.
What did his hiccups ever do for us?
Fred, this is no time to be funny. Go get the water, dear.
Okay, all right, Mary, all right.
Now, Archie, try holding your breath while I count 10. That sometimes stops it.
But, Mom,
Archie, just do as I say, dear. Hold your breath.
Okay, Mom.
Holding it? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, don't let it out till I say 10. Understand? Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Waterbury, what the dickens is he doing?
Holding his breath. 4.
Why?
To stop the hiccups. 4.
Holding his breath to stop hiccups. Mary, that's the way
Fred,
to
be
do
quiet.
it.
I'm trying to count. 4.
Mary, I know a true way to cure hiccups.
Fred, would you let me finish this?
But it won't work.
It will too.
It will not.
It will so.
Never in a million years.
Do I have to hold my breath that long?
Oh, for pity's sake, Fred, now you spoiled it.
Spoiled what?
That.
Mary, there is only one way to cure hiccups, and that's to drink this glass of water down in one swallow.
Well, I was going to try that next. That's why I asked you to bring the water.
You should have done that first. Anything else was a waste of time. Here, Archie. Now drink this down, and your hiccups will be gone.
But, Dad, I'm not thirsty.
Archie, you drink it whether you're thirsty or not. We can't stay up all night listening to you hiccup.
Gee whiz, okay, gimme.
Here, now don't stop till you finish it off. That's right. Keep going. Attaboy. Get it all down. Don't stop now. Just a little more. There we are. Good boy.
Oh.
There. Now your hiccups are all gone, or my name isn't Fred Andrews. Call me Joe. Oh, Mary, I give up. You'll just have to let the boys' hiccups stop by themselves.
But that could go on all night. Fred, I want you to call a doctor.
At this hour, Mary, it's 11 o'clock.
Well, I know it, but we've got to do something.
Yes, but you can't. Mary, you can't go. You can't go. I'll call the doctor. You know, when some people have the hiccups, they just have the hiccups. But when my son has the hiccups, we have to call an ambulance. Operator, get me Riverdale. Mary, what's the doctor's number?
243, I think.
Riverdale 243, I think. Operator, no. Fine thing, go waking the doctor up at this hour for hiccups. I never... Oh, yeah. Hello, Dr. Higgins. This is Fred Andrews. Doctor, I'm really terribly sorry to wake you. I never would have, but my wife insisted that I... what? Oh, the trouble. Yes, I was getting to that. It's my son, Doctor. He's got the hiccups. I said hiccups. Yeah, that's right. And, what? You say bicarbonate? Oh, is that all? Oh, all right, Doctor. Thanks a lot. Bye.
What did he say, dear?
No, he didn't. He said give Archie a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda in a glass of water.
Bicarbonate?
Mm-hmm.
Now, why didn't I think... Oh, good heavens, we don't have any.
What?
There isn't a bit of bicarbonate in the house.
Oh, great. Mary, I'm glad you had me wake Dr. Higgins so he could tell us to give Archie some bicarbonate, which we can't give him because we don't have any bicarbonate. So, shut up.
Fred.
Well, I'm sorry, but that picking at this hour is getting on my nerves.
Well, never mind your nerves. I'll have to call Betty.
Call the Marines if you want. Call who?
Betty. We'll have to borrow some bicarbonate.
At this hour? Oh, now, Mary, you can't go around waking up the whole town just because your son has hiccups.
Fred, if the doctor says Archie needs bicarbonate, he's going to get bicarbonate.
The doctor didn't say he needs it, dear. He said try it.
Well, it's the same thing. Operator, get me Riverdale 647, please. How do you feel now, Archie?
Rotten.
Well, don't you worry, dear. We'll soon have it. Hello, Betty. This is Mrs. Andrews, dear. Did I wake you? Oh, I'm awfully sorry, dear. And I wouldn't have bothered you, but it's important.
Something wrong, Mrs. Andrews?
Yes, Archie has the hiccups.
The what?
The hiccups. And the doctor said bicarbonate is good for hiccups, but we don't have any.
Hiccups or bicarbonate?
Bicarbonate. Do you have any?
Oh, sure, Mrs. Andrews. Want me to bring it over?
Well, if it's not too much trouble, dear.
Oh, no, Mrs. Andrews. Glad to. Be right over.
All right, dear. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.
There, Fred. You see? Betty didn't mind my calling her at all. Archie, how do you feel now?
Same.
Well, as soon as Betty gets here... Oh, dear. That couldn't be Betty already.
Well, who else could it be at this hour?
Oh, I don't know. Fred, go see who it is. I can't go to the door in my nightgown.
Well, I can't go to the door in my nightshirt.
Never mind, Mom. I'll go.
Well, all right, dear. Do you feel all right?
Oh, sure. But I sure wish Betty would get here with that bicarb. I'd sure like to get to sleep.
Oh, Archie, we're in complete agreement on that score. I would too.
Hello, Archie.
Gee, Mr. Sherry.
I was just passing by, Archie, and I saw the lights, and it's so late, I got worried. Beg pardon?
I said...
Archie, do you have the hiccups?
Uh-huh. I had a bad dream, and well, it got me so upset I've been hiccuping ever since.
Gee, that's funny. I had a dream just last night.
You did?
Yes, sir, but it wasn't a bad dream at all. You know what I dreamt?
What?
Well, I dreamt I was shipwrecked and was cast away on an island in the South Pacific.
Gee, that sounds like fun.
Wait till you hear the rest of it. On this island, they had great big palm trees. And you know what grew on the trees?
Coconut?
No, sir. These trees were just covered with beautiful, luscious, handy 1-pound packages of Swift's Premium Franks.
Gee whiz. All packed in cellophane?
Yes, sir, for your convenience and protection.
Gee.
And I just lay there on the sand, and as the cool breezes fanned my brow, I reached up and ate 8 to 10 of those plump, delicious Franks, made of all dinner-quality meat that you find in each package of Swift's Premium Franks.
Sounds good.
They were good, because the new sanitary Flavor Saver pack seals in all the natural goodness.
Gee. But how'd you get off that island, Mr. Sherry?
Well, Archie, as I munched on those delicious Franks, it suddenly dawned on me that I couldn't be far from civilization because Swift's Premium Franks are always made close to where they're sold, in Swift kitchens from coast to coast.
Gee whiz, I'd never have thought of that.
So I took one last bite of the tender beef and juicy pork skillfully blended in one wonderful Frank and decided to explore the island. And sure enough, on the other side, I found a busy city and I caught a boat and came home. And that was the end of the dream.
Gee, they must have been the Paradise Islands.
Yes, sir. But enough of my dream, Archie. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Oh, no, Mr. Sherry. As soon as Betty gets here, I'll be okay.
All right, Archie. I'll run along. I hope you feel better. Bye.
Bye, Mr. Sherry.
Archie, who was that?
Mr. Sherry, Mom. He saw the lights on and he just dropped in.
Oh, I see. Oh, that must be Betty now.
Hello, Mrs. Andrews. I brought the 5 carbonate.
Oh, hello, dear. Thank you very much.
Hi, Archie.
Hi, Betty. Mom, I
It
want
was
to...
sweet of you to come over, dear.
Mom,
I'm sorry I had to bother you.
Mom,
but I don't know what we'd have done without this.
Mom, I just...
Well, what is it, Archie?
I'm trying to tell you. My hiccups are gone.
I know, dear, and as soon as you take some... Your hiccups are what?
They're gone.
Oh, for pity's sake.
Golly.
Archie, you sure?
Positive. See? No hiccups.
Oh, Archie, when they go away?
Well, I was listening to Mr. Sherry's dream, I guess.
For heaven's sake. Betty, I'm terribly sorry, dear. It looks like you went to all that trouble for nothing.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Andrews. That's how those things are. Well, I'll go home now.
Well, thanks ever so much, Betty.
Yeah, thanks, Betty.
Oh, that's okay. Bye now.
Bye, dear.
Well, how's he feel now?
Oh, Freddie feels fine now, and he didn't need the bicarbonate.
Well, I'm glad something didn't need it.
Yeah, Dad, the hiccups just went away by themselves.
Archie,
Now, Fred, don't start any arguments at this hour. It's late, and we have to get some sleep, so let's just go upstairs and get to bed.
Oh, Mary, what makes you think I want to do anything else? What makes you think I even wanted to be awakened in the first place? What makes you think
Never mind, dear. It's all over now, and we'll be asleep in 10 minutes. You still feel all right, Archie, dear?
Never felt better, Mom.
All right. Then go to sleep, dear.
Okay, Mom. Night, Mom. Night, Dad.
Good night, dear.
Night. Oh, me. I have never in all my days heard anything like this. The boy wakes up dreaming about Indians. He wakes you up. He wakes me up. He wakes Betty up. He wakes...
Fred, stop grumbling and turn out the light.
I'll be glad to.
Good night, dear.
Good night. Oh, great. Barry, just listen to that.
Listen to what?
The water, don't you hear it?
Yes, it's dripping.
Mary, I came to that conclusion a minute ago.
Well, pay no attention to it.
Yes, dear. No, dear. Mary, how can you pay no attention to that? That noise would wake the dead.
Fred, you can hardly hear it.
Well, Mary, it's loud enough to keep me awake.
Then go shut it off. See? Yes, you. You must have left it dripping when you got Archie that glass of water.
But oh, me. All right, Mary, I'll go and shut it off. Or I'll be darned if I'll turn the lights on.
Why not?
Because the first thing you know, somebody will see them and we'll have visitors again. All night long, one thing after another. Up and down, all night long. Up and down. Well, I'm down again.
Fred, did you trip over the vacuum cleaner?
Oh, no, dear. The vacuum cleaner tripped over me.
What happened?
I tripped over a vacuum cleaner that your mother left out as a booby trap.
Fred, I didn't know such thing.
But did you hurt yourself?
Of course I did. Oh, my toe. Oh, my toe.
Dear.
Oh.
Archie, turn the light on.
Okay, Mom.
Oh, my toe.
Fred, stop groaning and let me see it, dear.
See, maybe it's broken.
Feels like it.
It's not broken.
Well, it feels like it is.
Fred, you just stubbed it. A little ice water will fix it up in no time.
I hope so. A little what?
Ice water. I think...
Now, Mary, wait a minute. I am not going to put this toe in any ice water.
Oh, Fred, you've got to, or it'll get so sore and swollen you won't be able to walk for a week.
But
Now, just take me a second to get a basin of ice water ready, and you soak it for a minute, and it'll be good as new.
All right, Mary, what's the use of arguing? When you decide I'm going to soak my toe in ice water, I might as well get used to the idea I'm going to soak my toe in ice water.
Now, come on downstairs while I get the ice out.
Well, how? I can hardly walk.
I'll help you, Dad. Put one arm around me.
All right, Archie.
Attaboy. Now, just take it easy.
Fine thing. All I wanted to do was sleep, and now, look, I'm crippled.
Oh, you'll feel better as soon as Mom gets the ice water, Dad.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll make me feel just dandy, just fine and dandy.
There we are. Sit right here, Dad.
Yeah. Oh, my toe. Mary, Oh, no.
Gee whiz, now who can that be?
But I knew it. I knew it as sure as anything. The minute you turn the lights on in this house, it draws visitors like moths.
I'll get it, Dad. Gee whiz, Jughead.
Who'd you expect? The shadow?
Jughead, I didn't expect anybody at this hour. What are you doing here anyway?
I was on my way home from the movies. I went to the early show.
Early show? How come you got out so late?
Well, the picture had such an unhappy ending, I stayed a second time hoping it would turn out better.
Oh, great.
Gee, hello, Mr. Andrews. What are you doing up?
Nursing a sore toe.
Huh?
I stumbled in the dark and hurt my big toe. See?
Gee, that's the biggest big toe I've ever seen.
Oh, fine.
Except my Uncle Herman.
Oh, me, Jug,
He's got the biggest big toe of anybody.
Yes, Jug,
But
but...
that's because he's got bigger feet than anybody.
Jughead, will you please leave my big feet alone?
Huh?
No, I mean, forget about my feet.
What are you shouting? Jughead, what are you doing here?
Well,
He saw the lights on and just dropped in.
Gee whiz, Mr. Andrews, how did you know?
Oh, I could tell.
Well, Fred, never mind arguing with Jughead now. Here's the ice water for your toe.
Whose toe?
Your toe.
Mary, what am I going to do with ice water for my... Oh, you mean my toe?
Yes,
Oh.
I mean your toe. Fred, has your toe stopped hurting?
Uh-huh.
Oh, for pity's sake. Fred Andrews, do you mean to say that I went to all that trouble for nothing?
Mary, how did I know it would stop hurting?
You didn't, but if it stopped so soon, it couldn't have hurt very much.
Yeah.
Mary, I tell you, it hurt like...
Fred, let's not discuss it at this hour. Jughead, you better run along now. It's awfully late.
Gee, you don't have to stop arguing on my account.
Jughead,
I like a good argument.
Jughead, we are not arguing, and please go home.
I can take a hint. Night, Mr. Andrews. Night, Mrs. Andrews. Night, Archie.
Good night,
Jughead.
Good night. Well, I'm glad that's settled. Now, Fred, if you think you can get up the stairs without a stretcher, let's get to bed.
Oh, now, Mary, I see no reason for sarcasm.
Fred, I didn't mean to be sarcastic, but I would like to get to sleep.
Me too.
Oh, all right, let's go up and go to sleep. I don't believe it.
No, I bet it's Jughead again. Well, what do you want now?
Hello, Archie.
Oh, me.
Hi, y'all, Archie Kim.
Archie,
It's awful good to see you all, Archie. Dear.
Archie, I don't mean to be rude, but is this any time to start giggling at people?
Hello, Mr. Andrews.
Hello, Veronica.
Hello, Mrs. Andrews.
Hello, Veronica.
I hope you don't mind my dropping in like this, but I saw the
Veronica, if you say you're going to say you saw the lights on and you stopped by, please don't.
My goodness, how did you know?
Oh, instinct, just pure instinct.
Well, I just wanted to say hello, but you all seem ready for bed, so I better run along now.
I'll get it, dear.
Oh, Mrs. Andrews.
Betty.
Did I wake you, Mrs. Andrews? Oh, Veronica. Hi, Betty. What are you doing here?
She saw the lights on and just dropped in.
Oh, well, anyway, I came back because my father woke up and can't get back to sleep, and he wants the bicarbonate.
Oh, dear. Did you leave it here?
Uh-huh. Oh, here it is right on the hall table. Wasn't that silly of me?
Yes, Betty, very. But now that you... If this is a dream, I'd rather have Indian.
I'll get it, dear.
Hello.
Jughead.
Oh, great.
What are you doing back here?
I got locked out of my house.
Locked out?
Yeah, I forgot my keys and my folks have gone to bed, and I didn't want to wake my father. He hates to be awakened.
Oh, he hates to be awakened. I suppose you think I like to be.
Now, Fred, don't make a scene.
Mary, I am not making a
Oh,
scene.
goodness, I didn't mean to intrude.
Now, Veronica,
I
you're
wouldn't
not...
have come over if my father didn't need the bicarbonate.
Betty, I
Have you ever
understand
seen
that.
my father when somebody wakes him?
Jughead, will you
Fred,
please...
control yourself.
Mary, dear, I'm trying to... Look, Betty, Veronica, Mary, Jughead, will you please... Mary, quiet! 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 That's better. Now listen to me, all of you. This nonsense has gone far enough. Too far, in fact.
Yes, Mr. Andrews.
Yes, dear.
Now, I may be expecting too much, but I went to bed 2 or 3 hours ago because I wanted to get a good night's sleep. But why can't I sleep? Why?
Indigestion?
Jughead, be quiet.
I can't sleep because all night long, Archie with his dreams and Archie with his hiccups and Archie needs some bicarbonate and all night long, Archie. You'd think the boy was 6 months old. So, young man, I want to say to you right here and now that hereafter, if you can't sleep like Archie? Mary, where is the boy?
But I don't know. He was here a minute ago.
He's in the armchair.
What's he doing there?
He's sound asleep.
Oh, no.
Friends, you really know what you're getting when you ask for Swift's Premium Franks. Made fresh daily in Swift kitchens from coast to coast, so you know they're fresh. Made by Swift, so you know they're top quality. Ask for them today. Swift's Premium Franks in the new handy 1-pound cellophane packages. And while you're at your dealers, be sure to ask for Swift's Brookfield sausage. Perfect for breakfast, ideal for a quick, easy-to-fix dinner. Swift's Brookfield sausage is just right. Yes, just right. Not too mild, not too spicy, but seasoned to just right perfection. Ask for Swift's Brookfield sausage, the sausage with the just right seasoning. And don't forget that your dealer has a tempting variety of Swift's premium table-ready meats. The handy, conveniently sized serve-a-lot is being featured this week, and you'll find it just the thing for quick, easy-to-fix suppers, lunches, and snacks. And now, back to the Andrews. It's a few minutes later, after everything has calmed down, including Mr. Andrews. The company is gone, and Archie and his mother and father have just come upstairs.
Oh, I'm sorry we had to wake you, Archie, but we couldn't let you sleep in that armchair all night.
Oh, that's okay, Mama. I wouldn't have any trouble going right back to sleep.
Oh, I hope not.
Night, Dad. Night, Mom.
Good night,
Good
dear.
night, son. Oh, well, maybe we can get to sleep once and for all.
Yes, dear. Turn off the light.
I am.
I have never seen such a night.
Nor have I. Good night.
Good night, dear. Fred, what is it?
Indians. Millions of Indians.
No,
Indians.
no.
Are we surrounded?
Fred Andrews, wake up.
Big.
You've been listening to another chapter of the Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Zampel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie is played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone. Mom and Dad Andrews are played by Alice Sherman and Arthur Cole, Veronica and Betty by Gloria Mann and Rosemary Rice. This program is produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. Listen next Saturday when Swift & Company, makers of Swift's Premium Franks, brings you more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Bob Sherry wishing you all a very pleasant weekend. So long. Swift & Company invites you to stay tuned for Meet the Meek, which will be heard immediately over most of these stations.
That was Archie from 1948, and now one more great episode of The Aldrich Family. This is from April 14th, 1944.
The Aldrich Family, a special rebroadcast for you soldiers, sailors, and Marines of the United Nations.
The nearest thing to perpetual motion is a typical teenage American boy. A youngster like Henry Aldrich, for instance, never rests. He's always on the go and always keeping others on the go.
The scene opens in the Aldrich living room. The time is afternoon.
Henry, may I ask, aren't you the one who left this broom in here?
That broom, Mother? That broom?
Yes, dear.
Mrs. Aldrich, we had to use it to see whether we could find something under the sofa there.
It doesn't matter what you were using it for, Homer. When you're through with something, you should put it back. And may I ask who left that desk drawer open?
Well, Homer, didn't you close that desk drawer?
For why, Henry?
And, Henry, look at that piano bench.
Oh, yes, it's wide open, isn't it?
Mrs. Aldrich, may I explain something to you about that piano bench?
Now, Homer, does your mother like to see things left open like that?
Who, my mother? Gee, she never so much as raises an eyebrow over a thing like that.
Really? Well, when I go out in the kitchen in a minute, I'm going to ask her.
Out in the kitchen, Mrs. Aldrich? Is my mother out in your kitchen?
She is.
Henry, what do you say we take a little walk?
Listen, Homer, will you help me close this darn desk drawer?
What's the matter? Are you weak?
Stand back so I can...
Look, Henry, you be shutting the piano bench. Well, gee whiz.
Okay, go ahead and close it if you're so strong. Let me see you close.
What makes you think I can?
Now, listen, Homer, you should never close a drawer with your feet.
I didn't. I put a sheet of paper between my foot and the drawer.
Well, what else it was that we were supposed to close?
Wait, let's see. Was it that glass bookcase?
Now, listen, Homer, put your foot down. Do you hear me?
I'm putting it down, Henry. I thought the darn case was open. Do you see anything that does need closing that isn't?
Well...
Where are you going?
Oh, wait just a second while I go out and ask my mother.
If you see my mother, tell her I'm behaving myself.
Mother!
Yes, Henry?
Hello there, Henry. Oh, hello, Mrs. Brown. Homer's all right.
He's what?
There isn't anything to worry about. Mother, I don't want you to think I didn't pay any attention to you, but listen.
Dear, didn't you just come through that door?
Which door?
That one you just left open.
Yes, sure.
Well?
Is there something you... Oh, yes. Boy, am I dumb.
Now, what was it you wanted to ask me?
Why, what was it you wanted Homer and me to close?
What was it? Naturally, dear, I want you to close everything you left open.
Yes, Mother, sure, but it's hard for me to tell what things are open that I didn't close, that I didn't open it first.
And what about the broom?
Oh, yes, the broom. That was it. I'll go get it.
And, Henry, how about that door you just opened again?
Well, isn't it clear, Mother? I'm going to bring the broom right back through it.
Henry?
Yes, Mother, I'm closing it.
Alice, I'm glad to see you're training Henry like that.
Elizabeth, I've always said I don't care whether my children graduate with honors, and I don't care whether they ever make a lot of money. But there is one thing I shall always insist on, and that is they do not go through life leaving things open behind them.
And I agree, Alice. I started the day we got married training Will, and I resolved the day Homer was born that the woman he marries will never go through what I've had to go through.
You mean you never have trouble with Homer?
Oh, not anymore. He hasn't left anything open since he was 3 years old.
Mrs. Aldrich, are you by any chance alone?
No, Homer, your mother's here.
Oh, yes. Hello, Mother.
Homer, close that door.
Close it? You mean... I'm not staying, Mother. I just stopped in long enough to ask Mrs. Aldrich whether she has a few spare cookies she could spare.
Homer, what have I always said about people that leave doors open?
They're illiterate. I'll close it.
Oh, gee whiz, Homer. What's the idea of banging the door right in a person's face?
I didn't know you were coming in here, Henry. Why didn't you knock or something? There.
Homer, if you and Henry would each like a cookie, you'll find them in that cupboard up there.
Yes, Mrs.
Thank you,
Aldrich.
Mother.
But you're not to eat any until you put that broom away at the head of the cellar stairs.
Yes, Mother, that's where I'm heading right this minute.
I'll be getting the cookies down out of this cupboard, Henry. Oh, boy, Mrs. Aldrich. Oh, boy. They're my favorite kind, too. Here, Henry, do you want one?
Yeah, sure. Thanks very much.
Homer.
Yes, Mother?
Haven't you forgotten something?
Why? Here, do you want a cookie?
That is not what I'm referring to.
Oh, I know. You want me to close the cookie jar. There.
Homer, that's only part of what you're to do.
It is? It is?
Don't look down at your feet. Look up.
Up?
Ouch! Oh, Homer, did you hurt your head on the cupboard door?
Now, don't feel sorry for him, Alice.
Oh.
The only way he ever learns anything.
Come on, Homer. Let's see whether I left that who's that I can't find down at the stationery store.
Okay, let's go.
And listen, Homer, you're coming out of the door last. Don't let me have to speak to you.
You won't. Goodbye, Mrs. Aldrich. Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. There, Alice, is a very good example of how a little firm insisting can teach them something you'll never forget.
Elizabeth.
Yes, Alice?
Do you happen to know how that door by the cellar stairs got open?
What door? Oh, Alice. Oh, Alice. Oh, dear, could it have been my Homer?
No, Henry left it open when he put his broom in there.
He did? Well, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd make Henry come back here no matter where he is or what he's doing and close that door.
Henry! Henry!
Homer!
Goodbye, Mother. Don't wait dinner for me if I'm late.
Oh, Mary, you're just the person I want. On your way downtown, dear, look for Henry and tell him he's to come right straight back here.
But, Mother... And, Mary, if you see Homer, you tell him to come back, too. If he sees Henry get away with a thing like this, he'll think he can do it.
But, Mrs. Brown, I have sort of an engagement, and I'm terribly late for it.
Dear, do you realize the government's trying to save fuel so we can win this war?
You mean they left the furnace wide open on a nice day like this?
They've been leaving everything wide open, Mary.
Oh, my goodness.
And, Mary, I want you to find Henry and Homer and tell them they're to come back here and see what they've done.
Really? Do you think we ought to call Father?
Your mother and I can handle that, Mary. And if you think anything of your brother's character and Homer's future, you will find them.
Yes, Mrs. Brown, you can depend on me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
But, Kathleen, I'm trying to explain why I'm late. Well, it seems to me, Mary, you're always late and you always have an excuse. But, Kathleen, I'm not trying to give you just an ordinary excuse. Something awful has happened at our house. Yeah? I can't do a thing until I found Henry and Homer. My goodness, they've upset our whole heating system or something. Yeah? What did they do? I don't know. Everything's wide open, and Mother says... Wait until I get my dress, Kathleen. She says their characters are going all to pieces, and when they see what they've done, they'll be completely ashamed of themselves. Well, Mary, have you any idea where they are? No, I just met somebody that thought he'd seen them headed out Old Church Road, but he isn't sure. And, Kathleen, you've got to help me find them.
Did you find it, Henry? Did you find it?
Sure, Homer. I knew all the time I left it in this stationery store.
Something I can do for you, boys?
No, thank you. I just found the Mother's Day card I bought in here this morning. Right in this store with all your other Mother's Day cards. And incidentally, would you mind if I exchange it for this other one?
You don't like the first one?
Well, I tell you, my mother's done an awful lot for me, and frankly, well, I feel I ought to spend more than a dime on it.
Let's see it, Henry. Let's see it. What does it say?
Here. My heart is an open door to the mother I adore. My aim in life is to please her, as I always have of yours.
Henry, what does that mean?
I don't know, Homer, but it sounds pretty good. And don't you think she'd appreciate it?
Sure, and by paying a nickel more, you're sure you've got something.
Of course. Here's the 5 cents, mister.
Okay. I'll close the door up.
Why, we closed it.
Oh, you have? Now, that's very thoughtful of you. Not one customer in 10 ever thinks of closing that door.
Oh, gee, I guess we're just well-trained.
Boy, I'll say. That's one thing we're very particular about. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hurry up, Henry.
Listen, Homer, do you realize what you've just did? What? Turn around and look. You walked right out of that door and left it all the way open.
Oh, gee whiz. Boy, am I careless.
I'll say.
Just a minute, boys. Could I go in there, please?
Oh, excuse me. I'll open it for you. That is... Oh, gee whiz.
Homer, why don't you open it for?
Can you imagine that? It doesn't seem to...
Is it too hard for you to open?
Look out, Homer. Let me open it for her.
Okay, Henry, okay, if you know so much about it.
Well, gee whiz. Homer, what'd you do to it?
Henry, there isn't anything to worry about. There's a lady on the other side that's coming out. She'll open it for us.
Oh, sure.
Come on, lady. We're not coming in. You come on out.
Homer, she can't open it.
She can't? Come on, Henry. I think we better be going.
Mr. Bartlett, have Henry Aldrich and Homer Brown gone by here?
I don't even know them, Kathleen.
Oh, my goodness, they're wanted for something very important.
You mean they're lost?
Oh, no, they're not children. In fact, they're about this tall, and one usually wears a gray sweater, and the other one usually wears a blue sweater.
And you want them at your house?
Oh, no, the Aldriches want to get hold of them. Apparently, they did something terrible to the basement, and it's just ruined the heating system. The whole family's upset about it, and several of us are out looking for them.
Oh, they're dressed in gray and blue, eh? I'll keep my eyes open for them.
Hello there, Mr. Aldrich. You going down the street?
Oh, hello there. I'm on my way down to the courthouse.
Oh, yes? Well, wait a second and I'll walk along with you.
All right, sir.
Say, you know all about everything that's going on here in town. What's the real story about Joe?
About Joe?
Well, you know, that runs a stationery store. I just went by his place, and apparently the sheriff had slapped the padlock on his door.
You don't say so.
Well, that's what it looked like. It was closed tight, and the whole crowd had collected around.
Is that right?
Oh, Mr. Aldrich.
What's that? Oh, hello, Kathleen.
Have you seen Mary?
No, I haven't, Kathleen.
Well, I'm in a terrible hurry, but if you see her, tell her I'm on their trail.
On that trail?
Yes, haven't you heard about the awful thing that happened at your house?
What did you say? Kathleen! Well, that's a fine thing to tell me just as I'm going into the courthouse.
Well, as I was saying, it was back about 1920 when Will was courting me, and...
Mother, I haven't been able to locate them.
Mary, you're interrupting Mrs. Brown.
I'm interrupting her?
Yes, dear. She's telling me about something I've always wanted to hear.
But, Mother, haven't I made it clear I haven't been able to find them?
You haven't been able to find whom, Mary?
Why, Henry and Homer, of course. Nobody's seen hide nor hair of them.
Oh, of course. Mary, you mean you haven't found them yet?
No, and what are we going to do?
Mary, don't close that cellar door.
Why not, Mother?
Just leave it open, please. Leave it open exactly the way you found it.
Why?
Mary, please find the boys.
Hello? Hello?
Hello? George Britton speaking.
Hello, George. This is Sam Aldrich.
Yes, Sam.
George, I've been trying to get my house, and if you've got the time, I want you to run over there and see what happens.
Sam, are you talking about the two vandals that broke in?
The two vandals?
That's what I heard, Sam. They got into your basement and left your heating system wide open. It is your place a sight.
You don't say so. Well, George, will the insurance I carry with you cover me on that?
Of course, Sam. And here's what somebody who's been talking with your daughter told me. One of the boys was dressed in a gray coat and the other in a blue coat. They were pretty low characters.
Father!
Excuse me, George. What is it, Henry?
Could Homer and I bother you for a second?
Henry, what is it you want?
We just want to ask you for some advice, Mr. Aldrich.
Boys, will you please close that door?
Oh, gee whiz, excuse me. Boy, Henry, were you brought up on a raft?
Now then, George.
I'll go right over to your house, Sam, and look things over.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Father, could I ask you something?
Henry, this is no time to bother me. I've got to call your mother. Hello?
Number, please.
I want Elm 303.
Elm 303.
Father, suppose a fellow runs a sort of a store, see? And just by accident, it works out so that nobody can get in. Who's responsible?
Who's responsible for what?
Well, that's what we want to know, Mr. Aldrich. Nobody can get in, and it looks as though nobody can get out.
Hello?
Alice, this is Sam. I've just heard what those boys did from someone who was talking with Mary. Are you pretty upset?
Yes, I am. And, Sam, no matter what you say, I think it's the kind of thing that ought to be followed up.
But I'm not criticizing you. I agree. I just don't understand how you let them get away.
Dear, I was sitting in the kitchen visiting with Elizabeth Brown, and we didn't realize what they'd done until after they'd gone.
Well, how did this all start?
They came to the kitchen, Sam, and wanted some cookies, and I gave them some.
And they left something wide open?
Not wide open, Sam, but what's the difference whether it's all the way or 3 inches? The damage is just the same.
And may I ask why you didn't call me first thing?
Because I didn't want to bother you, and I didn't know whether you'd feel it was serious enough to...
Alice, don't be absurd. Of course it's serious. I'm going out and try to find them.
Now, Sam, if you do find them, don't lose your temper.
Lose my temper? What do you mean?
Well, remember, they aren't very old.
That doesn't make any difference. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Father, what were you talking about?
Where's my hat and coat?
Mr. Aldrich, before you go anyplace, could you give us some idea as to whether we're responsible? I mean, about putting somebody accidentally out of business?
Boys, there are other things more important than that. Come with me.
With you, Father?
I want to get my hands on 2 young fellows, and I'll probably need your help in case they try to run away.
Now, getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. In trying to train her son to close things behind him, Mrs. Aldrich has sent word downtown for Henry to come back and close the cellar door. In so doing, she has quite innocently started a rumor that someone has wrecked the Aldrich home. The scene opens on the front porch of a house a few miles outside town.
Henry, don't ring that bell again. If anybody's home, they'll answer the door.
Yes, Father.
Are you sure they came out here on Old Church Road, Mr. Aldrich? I mean, the 2 hoodlums we're looking for?
Yes, Homer. At least that's the report.
How do you do?
Oh, how do you do? This is Mr. Aldrich. I live back in town. I wondered whether anyone in your family happened to see a couple of young fellows out this way that apparently escaped from the county reform school.
Oh, my. And they're at last?
Yes, ma'am. But we're closing in on them. We're pretty sure.
Oh, my. No, I haven't seen them.
Well, they broke into our house and did quite a bit of damage. If you happen to run across them, will you phone Elm 303?
I certainly will, but I hope they don't ring my doorbell.
All we know is that they're very fond of cookies, in case that helps you any.
Well, thank you. Goodbye.
Now, which way are we going, Mr. Aldrich?
You better get in the car here and go right on out until we locate them.
Homer, when we see those 2 guys, do you know what we ought to do? What? Just walk up to them as though we knew them real well and say, well, how are you anyhow?
Yeah, and then what?
And then before they know what happened, we'll jump on them.
Sure. I'll take the one in blue and you take the one in gray.
What's the matter, Father? Haven't you turned the ignition on?
I've turned it on.
Mr. Aldrich, do you want me to stand on the running board the way I do on my father's car and jump up and down a little?
Homer, just remain seated and keep quiet. We're out of gas.
Oh, is that all that's the matter? We're just out of gas.
That's all. And your mother has the coupons back home.
Well, how do you do?
Hello, Mrs. Aldrich. It's Charlie Clark. I've got to get something for your father. I mean, for your mother. Look, I was just riding my bicycle out on Old Church Road, and I found it.
Charlie, you found whom?
Well, I ran into Mr. Aldrich, see? And he said, would I please come here and get your gas coupon?
Oh, of course. Come in.
Okay.
And, Charlie, won't you close the door, please?
Oh, did you want it closed?
I'm sorry, but that's one thing I'm very particular about. You must be tired, Charlie. Wouldn't you like a banana or something?
But, Mrs. Aldrich, he's dry. He's dry.
Oh, Mr. Aldrich needs some gas right away. Oh, now let me see. Coupons are right in this desk drawer. If I can get it open.
Well, do you want me to help you, Mrs. Aldrich?
Well, whoever closed this last shouldn't have closed it all the way.
Well, we've got a drawer at our house like, oh, gee whiz.
What's the matter?
The handle came off right in my hand.
Well, dear, we've got to get this drawer open.
Well, look, Mrs. Aldrich, have you got a hammer and chisel?
I'm sorry, Mr. Aldrich, but I haven't seen anything of a couple fellas like that.
No?
Mister, could I have a package of chewing gum, please?
Yeah, here you are.
I'd order a milkshake, only I haven't got any more money with me. And I know Mr. Aldrich has too much on his mind to loan me any.
What's that, Homer?
That's all right, Mr. Aldrich. That's all right. I shouldn't drink a milkshake just before dinner anyhow.
Henry, when you looked down the road a minute ago, did you see anything of Charlie Clark?
No, Father, there wasn't any sign of him.
Well, I know what your father could do. I don't know why I didn't think of it before.
What, Homer?
You don't need coupons to get gas. Gee whiz, my father has a lot of trucks. You can get all the gas you want.
Thank you, Homer. That's very kind of you. But I happen to know that your father obeys the law.
What law?
And besides, he's out looking for those two boys himself.
Henry Aldrich, is that you in there?
Gee whiz, Mary, where did you come
I've
from?
been looking all over for you and Joe Graham's car.
What for?
Hasn't anyone told you about all the damage that was done and how upset Mother is?
Sure, I know all about it, Mary. That's why Homer and I are out here.
That's why you're out here. You don't care how Mother feels?
Sure we do, Mary, but we're helping her. We're helping her in our own way.
Sure.
Well, you just wait, Henry, until I tell Father about your attitude in this matter.
But, Mary! Gee whiz, poor Mary. She always gets so darn excited.
Sure. Over something she doesn't understand the first thing about. Henry, where are you going?
I'm just going to step over here and close this phone booth door that someone left partly open.
Just how much damage was done at your house?
Wait, we haven't seen the damage yet, but we understand the first two floors are practically wiped out.
Yeah?
But my father said he carries enough insurance to get the whole downstairs all done over the way he's always wanted it.
Say, Henry, incidentally, where is your father?
Oh, gee whiz, did he step outside?
He did. Well, how'd he get out there without our seeing him?
Come on, maybe Charlie Clark has come.
Oh, boy, Henry.
Homer, will you please close that door?
I'm closing it.
Hello, Rustic Milkshake Bar.
Hello, this is Mr. Aldrich speaking.
Who?
Mr. Aldrich, could you let me out, please?
Let you out? Where are you?
I'm right around here in one of your phone booths. Somebody closed the door on me and I can't get out.
Oh, Mr. Aldrich, you should never have closed that. We've had trouble before.
Boy, I wish your father would show up, Henry. It's getting kind of cold waiting in this car.
He'll be along, Homer. He'll be along.
Well, instead of sitting here wasting time, my father could have been out here by now with all the gas coupons you need.
Homer, my father's very particular about not using anybody else's coupons. And besides, here comes a towing truck. Maybe my father's on it.
Oh, boy. Come on, let's get out and watch him hook on.
Look, gee whiz, we're going right by.
Well, in the first place, Henry, it isn't a towing truck. It's a telephone company truck.
Oh, yes.
And look, they're pulling right up in front of the milkshake bar. See? A couple of guys are going inside with a lot of heavy tools. Come on, Henry, let's go in and see what they're going to do.
Listen, Homer, the thing for us to do is to stay right here by this car so my father can put his hands on us when he wants us.
Wasn't that awful, Mother? I mean, about Henry refusing to come home?
Yes, Mary.
And, Mother, will you please tell me something else?
What is it?
What was it Mr. Britton wanted when he was here?
Dear, I don't know. I was busy trying to get the gas coupons out of the desk.
Mother, it was the queerest thing. He wanted to go all through the house.
Mary, through the whole house?
Yes, Mother. He said he wanted to start at the basement and work his way up all the way to the attic. And after he left, I found practically every door in the house open.
Really?
Do you think Father's going to sell the house?
Well, was Mr. Brinton interested?
Alice!
Oh, Sam, is that you? I'm out in the kitchen.
Alice, would you please tell me why you couldn't send the gas coupons out to me?
Dear, I was going to send them out, and I had to send Charlie Clark first to get a carpenter so we could get them.
Get them? Where are they?
And in the meantime, Sam, he got a banana out of the icebox and left the door wide open.
What had that to do with it?
Well, don't you understand? We're entirely defrosted. Here, what's that in your hair?
My hair? What do you mean?
My goodness, Father, you've got wood shavings all over your head.
Yeah? You know, Alice, that telephone company gives very good service.
The gift what? Did you find them, Sam?
Did I find them? No, I didn't find them. How could I when I ran out of gas?
Tell me, Sam, have you offered to sell our house?
Why do you ask that? You mean we're going to have to get out?
Father, don't you like it anymore?
Like it? Of course I like it. But it's never going to be the same, Mary. How could it be?
Sam, may I ask exactly what you're talking about?
Mother, are you out in the kitchen?
Oh, Henry, is that you?
Yes. Did Father tell you what happened to him?
I did not.
Well, gee, Mrs. Aldrich, you should have been there. They had to lay the booth right down on its side and roll him out.
Boys, I do not know what you're talking about, but I do know I've been waiting for you all afternoon.
For us, Mrs. Aldrich?
I want you to take a look.
Take a look, Mother.
Oh, can we have some more cookies? Sure. I'll get them out of the cupboard.
Homer, leave the cookies on the shelf and look over there toward the cellar stairs. Both of you.
The cellar stairs? It's something I did?
It most certainly is.
How recently did he do it, Mrs. Aldrich?
Alice, what have they done?
Boys, do you see that cellar door? It's open.
It's open, Mrs. Aldrich?
Alice, do you mean... Alice, do you mean...
And, Sam, I'm very glad you found them for me. Now, Henry, please close that door.
Yes, Mother.
Well, I'm glad that's settled. And I hope it'll be a very good lesson to you.
Mrs. Aldrich, you mean...
Alice!
Sam, did you hurt yourself?
Who left that cupboard door open?
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Thanks for listening to these great old radio shows. If you'd like to contact me and let me know what you think, go to thisdaybenny.com.